How are you doing today? I want to discuss how you are not your net worth. Now, think about that. To clarify what I mean that you are not the zeros or lack of zeros in your bank account. You are not your 401k. You are not your debt. You are not any of these things. They do not determine your worth. So, for those of you who do not know me, hello. I'm Erica Trimnell. I'm also known as the Mindfulness Mistress on Instagram. I consult with organizations on trauma informed mindfulness practices, as well as coach spirit led individuals who feel stuck, limited, both mentally, physically, and energetically. I help them get back their childlike passion for life. I guide people to pick up their purpose and uncover their ability to create their reality. And you might be wondering what that looks like. Well, what that looks like is when you are living authentically, when you are loving intently, and when you are moving purposefully. So today, I wanted to talk about worth. Society has done a really great job at convincing most of us, not all of us, that we are the zeros in our bank accounts. We are constantly bombarded with messages from media, family, friends that we are our assets as well as our debt. However, today, I am here to tell you that your worth is not defined by your net worth. Heck, it's not really defined by your credit score either, if we go into it. Now, I know this concept can seem a little bit difficult or hard to grasp, so I'm going to do a really quick deep dive into this topic. Now, some of us might have been taught growing up that since we didn't pay any bills, we did not have a say or we did not have a voice. And that because the mortgage, right, was not in our name, we did not get a say in the choices for our lives. Now, if you were told this as a child, I can definitely relate to that. And it's these things that have somehow planted roots and manifested in your life. And we get reminded of these. But I want you to know that these stories are not true. Now, like I said, I truly understand this rhetoric because I too was told those stories when I was younger. And I do understand the negative self talk and the mind games that this plays with you later on in life. Today, I want you to write a new story and begin to dismantle the thoughts that are deep seated in your beliefs and something that you might have internalized. Your worth is not the amount of money or lack thereof that you have. Now, you might be wondering, why is this a problem? Well, if I didn't clearly lay it out in the beginning, let me go a little bit further into this. Many of us let our self worth be contingent on external events. When our self worth depends on external situations, it makes us unstable. And as a result, our feelings about ourself, our worthiness, what we deserve, can end up being at the whim of the world and these external circumstances. You might hear from time, right, that actor so and so or a music artist is worth X amount. And in hearing these stories repeated, they begin to take root in your own internal consciousness. And we start to believe that some people are more worthy, they're more deserving of us because they've got extra zeros, right? Or their net worth is $2 billion. So then what? Who am I only having thousands or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands or $0 in the bank account? How do I even measure up to someone who makes billions of dollars? It's really unfortunate that we live in a consumerist society where money is often made a god. And there are some people who, depending on the more or less of money you have, then the closer or further away you feel from this God. I would argue to say that some people have truly replaced their faith with dollar signs. And if you are one of those people, you can choose another way. You can choose another story. When you think about it, there is just so much pressure, especially in today's society, around one's ability to create or sustain money in their life. It is no wonder why one of the number one reasons for divorce is financial hardships, a discrepancy with money. We also hear of plenty of people ending their life after suffering a financial setback. I wanted to dive into this a little bit further today, and it's something that I've touched on in one of my blogs, which links mental health, physical physical health to our ability to create or sustain money. So us being able to tie our mental and physical health with our worth, or what we say is our worth, because it's really just a network. It's a money. So obviously, we all want to experience things in life that make us feel good. But when we have a contingent on our self worth, we might engage in activities that make us feel worthy while avoiding activities that make us feel unworthy. And this can lead to us pursuing something that is not right, that is not serving us, and that doesn't really even make us happy in the long run. Now, I want you to think about a time you didn't have enough for something, or you maybe had to ask somebody to help you out so you can get your needs met. How did that make you feel, both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically? I bet it didn't feel good. Now, I also want you to imagine obsessing over, ruminating over these lack mindset, over the fact that you weren't able to provide X for yourself, for your family, buy someone a certain gift that you wanted to buy. It's these thoughts, it's these patterns, it's these habits, it's these beliefs that cause a dis-ease within our lives. I just want to get a sense of those who are watching, you know, have you ever felt bad for not having the money you needed for something? I want to break the stigma of not having enough. I want to dive into just three of the reasons why you are not your money. So, the first reason is you are worthy, point blank, period. Money is an energy of abundance, and your ability to attract and maintain it does not define how worthy you are as a human being. The thoughts and stories you tell yourself about your ability to attract and maintain money are rooted in core beliefs, and most of them are just untrue. However, depending on the narrative around your household, you might have gotten the short end of the stick when it comes to your parents and finances. Although they might have been doing the best that they could with what they had, their lack of communication around finances and possibly using these scare tactics is what set root in your mind and is what is now being manifested in your current financial situation. So you are worthy simply by existing, by being here. The patterns and programs that run your habits, they are not you. You are so much more than what is in your bank account. I want you to think about people who have been most impactful and influential in your life. When you think of them, I bet 9 times out of 10, It had nothing to do with how much money they did or did not have. You cannot put a price on an encouraging friend. You cannot put a price on a neighbor who helps you out in your time of need. And there is no amount of money that can replace the loss of a human life, right? Are there people who you deem valuable in your life who haven't given you money? I know the answer for me is absolutely yes. So the second part, it dives into self-worth. And self-worth is at the core of ourselves. It is our thoughts, it's our feelings, it's our behaviors, and it's intimately tied to how we view our worthiness and value ourselves as human beings. You see, self-worth is determined mostly by our self-evaluated abilities and our performance. So, in essence, self worth encompasses everything that you are, both on a spiritual level, on a physical level, on an emotional level. I often say that English is an insufficient language to convey certain aspects of our life. When I think about a key example, how we say we have sadness in English is different when you say it in Swahili or if you say it in Spanish. I love the way they describe it because it's a temporary emotion, but yet in English we say it as if it is us, right? As almost a way of determining our self worth, but that's not the case. We may just hold on to sadness in the moment or we may just hold on to happiness in the moment. And it lets you know that all of these things are they're always changing. You know, English, like I said, is an insufficient language. It's not sufficient enough to truly convey all aspects of our lives. However, no word or identity can truly capture the divinity that we have inside. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but low self esteem manifests when someone bases their self worth on just one aspect of their lives, i.e., money, right? That's what we're talking about today. And if you have enough money to physically survive, which in fact can be $0 in your bank account, right? You could wake up tomorrow and have nothing in your bank account and you are still alive, then guess what? You have already achieved the maximum amount of worth that money can get you. So you're already winning. So the last part is money is unstable. Most of us have been around long enough to know and see the fluctuation of money. Its ability to pay for certain things and certain needs at one time, and then inability to pay for them another time, is a classic example. Now, I'm dating myself here, but I definitely remember when the stock market crashed in 2008. A lot of people lost a lot of money. I mean, life savings, 401ks, you name it, it was gone. And you know what? It was of no fault of their own. Their money, stock, and savings were wiped away in almost an instant. So imagine having your worth tied to this money that literally disappeared overnight. So when you're attaching your self worth to something that is inherently unstable, you yourself become unstable as well. However, when you know your worth, I mean, when you have truly severed the tie between your worth and your net worth, you can really enjoy life regardless of money's ability or inability to be stable. So I want to challenge you to realign and ground yourself, your self worth, in things that actually remain constant versus all of these other external situations, factors. What you tell yourself about money matters. This is one of the core beliefs that I break down in my money course and in my money challenge. And in the challenge and in the course, it's where you learn to rewrite your money stories and uncover your true potential. So I want you to know and I want to reiterate that you are worthy and you deserve to know that every single day. Self worth is the core, it is the essence of who you are, and it cannot be measured by money. Money is unstable. I can't say that enough. So there is no need to measure yourself using a tool that is inherently flawed. You deserve unconditional self worth. Cultivating a worth that persists regardless of the ups and downs of life and your finances. Knowing your true worth, it takes courage, but it makes all of life's decisions a lot easier when you can stand in your worth. It's difficult when you don't know your own value and compare yourself to others and what you feel like you should or shouldn't have. When we're constantly looking outside ourselves for validation, it causes us to doubt who we are and what we can offer to this world. If you want to change your life for the better, I suggest that you start practicing radical self love. And if you need an accountability partner, feel free to holla at your girl. I am happy to work with you offline. Again, my name is Erica Trumnell. Thank you so much for watching and catch me next time when I will talk about, is your resistance worth it? Bye.